able to see my screen? Yeah. So before last class, right? We have completed the bean scopes, right? So after that, so we have to check how to create a user defined scope. Okay, currently what you are using, those are all predefined bean scopes. Okay, now, okay, like a singleton, prototype, these are all predefined scopes in the Spring. Okay, so what is the singleton? So each and every time when you can in the bean you can declare as the scope is singleton, then every time it will create only one object per request. Okay, if you are creating when you are calling get dot bean method dot get bean method, how you are giving different beans, then it will create the different beans. Otherwise you can create same bean for same class, then we can call dot get bean method, then it will create each request, it will create same object. But in compared to prototype, right, when you call dot get bean method, is either same bean or different bean, it will call it will create a different object for that class. Okay, so after that we discuss these are all prototype request. Is it can use a web application session, also you can use web application. Global session you can use a portlet application, like those are all you can see in the web MVC. Okay, currently we discussed only singleton and prototype, right? So after the discussion of bean scopes, we have to another concept, how you are creating the create user defined scope class. Okay, now when you compare it to user defined, if you want to create scope class. Okay, so first of all, we have to perform some steps. First, we have to declare the user-defined class. Okay, what is the first step? Declare an user-defined class. Okay, now next one. So once we can declare the user-defined class, we have to implement scope interface to user-defined class. What is the second step? We have to implement uh, implement so what is the full form? Org dot uh, spring framework dot beans dot factory dot and yeah, I think config dot scope. This is the interface you have to override, sorry, you have to implement in user defined class. Okay, now third point. So once you can implement the interface in your user defined machine, so it will ask override the unimplemented methods, right? Implement the following interface methods in user defined class. Okay, what are all those? First one is get method. It will take some input. Okay, so get method, it able to actually, what is the purpose of get method? It will what is the purpose of get method? It able to generate a bean object from scope. Okay, simply it will give the bean object for your class. Okay, so here the corresponding method, implementation method should be public object. Yeah, exactly. I'm not referring the method names. Maybe some, I didn't exactly remembering the name. While implementing, we will come to know those are all correct or not. Okay, almost correct, but I'm suspecting the package name. Okay, let's see in the implementation. Okay, see, this is the method syntax for the get method. So what is the next method? So implement, what is the method it will do? It will able to generate. So get method, it able to generate a bean object from scope. Okay. Now what is the second method? What is the second method? The second method is remove method. Okay, so the corresponding method signature is public. Okay, public object remove, and it will take the name string value. Okay, this is the syntax for remove method, and it will. What is the purpose of remove method? What is the purpose of remove method? It will able to remove bean object from the scope. Same thing, but oh shit! Just a second, guys. Guys, you are able to practice in the before sessions. Please do the practice. Okay. So currently some of the peoples are working, right? Those are all not practicing. So they are getting some, while doing the project, they are getting some issues. Issues means they are not able to collect, uh, facing while doing the tasks. So better you can do the practice before you are getting the job or while you are taking the interviews. So if you are not practicing, the difference you can see in the once you are able to do in the project, not now. So if you are done the practice, you come to know how it is useful in the real time project. That's why I am telling again and again. If you are joining the classes, that is, it will help only 30%. You know the concepts and you know the how to implementing the project, but when you are getting the real time experience, once you can do the practice in your mission, in your same, no need to create same example, just you can create one your, for example, I explained some customer table, then you can take the any order table, same issue, same application, you can replicate. Then you come to know the concept as well as how you are doing the implementation. So those things are all very helpful to in the real time project, guys. Again and again, I'm telling, please don't ignore the practice. So I came to from same stage, and so that's what I'm telling. That time also, someone people, senior people will tell, but we are not you are not listening. So after that, so if you are doing the practice, well and good, it will be very helpful. That is my final, my answer. Each batch I'm telling same thing only. So some people will practice, some people after once they get into the project, sir, this is the issue, this is the issue. What they are getting Spring Boot and my Spring Boot and whatever projects, right? Already I given some examples, but still they are not referring those examples. Okay. See here, the another method is the another method is like get conversation ID. What is the purpose of this? It able to provide an ID value of the scope if any. Okay, if any. So, for example, if you are calling get conversation ID, then it will provide one ID that if the corresponding scope is available. Okay, then what is the syntax for this? So one of the example, first of all, I will give the syntax. Public string get conversation ID. Okay, see here, this is the method. So what is the purpose of conversation ID? It will finally, if you are calling can get conversation ID, it will give the some ID value, right? So best example is, for this one, I will give some example. So best example is if you call session method, right? Let's say whatever in Spring you conversion session, then you are able to get the session ID internally. That is one of the real-time example for the get conversation ID. Okay. Now fourth point. So what is next one? Register distraction callback method. Okay, now what is the purpose of this method? So this method, it will do the correspond, it will be executed when bean object is destroyed in the scope. So if you want to destroy the bean object, sorry, if you want to, like after being object distracted, then you have to execute some implementation logic, then you can go for register distraction callback method. So what is the purpose? Invoke it will invoke when being object destroyed in scope. So what is the purpose of so what is the syntax for this? Public void, it should not give any return type, simply this is void register distraction callback, and it will take the inputs as string name comma runnable interface. Okay, this is the syntax for register distraction method. And next one, fifth method. So resolve contextual object. We are almost done, guys. Spring core, there are 2 3 examples only. After that we will jump into the next module. Okay, so now this is also like this is one of the you have to understand the concept. So resolve context object, contextual object. So what is the purpose of this one? So it will resolve the situation So let's say, for example, if your application, there are multiple context objects is there, right? With, for example, if you are creating any, if you are creating any key, like if you are using some, bean object, in the bean object, some of the ID or name attribute containing multiple context objects, right? Then in the same object, you are getting, same key, you are getting multiple context objects. So to resolve, then when you are calling that method, a Spring container will confuse. For this ID, you have a multiple objects. How you are handling this situation, right? Then you can go for resolve contextual object. Okay, that is the purpose of the corresponding method. So implementation is public object and resolve contextual object. Okay, now what is the purpose? It will resolve situation where multiple context objects associated with the keys. Okay, now, so from the above methods, right? Get, remove, conversation ID, like distraction, callback, all the methods are mandated. Sorry, the corresponding get and remove methods are mandated to implement, and all the remaining methods are optional. Okay, so what are the steps to provide develop the user defined scope? First, you have to declare user defined class, and the second one, you have to implement in scope interface for that customizer class, user defined class, and you have to implement the following interface scope interface methods like get, remove, conversation ID, and distraction callback method and conceptual object. Get and remove methods are mandatory to implement, and all the remaining these three methods are optional. Okay, now, so if you are want to perform this user defined scope class, okay, so next one is, so how you are declaring the uh, user defined scope in bean configuration file. Those things and all we can see in the implementation. Directly we will jump into the corresponding example. So now what is the example? Let's see, control C, control V. Okay, custom scope app. So now here, so hello bean and these things and all not required. And I will create, oh sorry, restore from okay, fine. Let's see, first you need to create the class. So first of all, I'm creating class. What is the class? I'm creating custom thread local. Now I need to delete this one. Okay, now this is my customized class, and so I have to extend thread local, it will take object as a input. Okay, now in this you have to call so I need to override this initial value method. Here I will pass the corresponding. So what is the purpose, I will tell you later. Okay, what is the implementation? Return new hash map, and it will take string comma object as a generics. Okay, now you completed. Next we have to take thread scope class, and we can take, we have to implement scope interface. First step, implement scope interface. What are the methods you have to implement? All the methods. Okay, you have to implement all the methods. So now here, first of all, I will create my, first I have to take the map interface here, map class string object scope equal to null. Now I have to create my class object custom thread local method. Custom thread local equal to new custom thread local. Now in the get method I have to write some logic. What logic? So first of all I have to call get method. How to call the get method? So scope equal to thread custom thread local dot get method. Then it will ask typecasting. Why? Because this method will return the map string. Map it will return. Now we have to do it. Object obj equal to scope dot get, and we have to pass the name. Okay, the corresponding get method, it will take name is the attribute input one of the, and the object factory. Okay, object factory you can take. Now finally, if you have to check, if you have to write your condition, if obj equal to null, then we have to create obj equal to object factory dot get object. Okay, now we can call scope dot put, we can pass the name and obj object. Okay, finally you are returning obj object. So this is your method. First of all, please understand the logic. Just after that, while executing the example, right, I will explain line by line. Okay, now next conversation ID, we are not doing any, I don't want any logic next methods, but in the remove method I have to do something. What? So what is the purpose of this method? This is method, it will take input as a name and object. We have to destroy the object, right? Object obj equal to scope, we have scope dot remove, you can pass the key. What is the key here? Name is the key, and I am removing, so I am returning obj. Okay, after that I am not, so why? Because these method implementations are mandatory, remaining methods are optional. I don't want these implementations. Okay, as per my requirement, these two methods implementation is fine. Okay, now I am creating scope bean. Okay, scope bean containing default constructor first. Okay, public. So I'm taking just scope bean object is created. Okay, now I have to take one custom user defined method, public string say hi. Okay, and I will take system out.println hello user form. Okay, and we can call thread dot current thread name dot how to get the name, get name dot pass the scope. Okay, and this is not a system data, we are returning directly return value. I don't want this one. Yeah, so see, I'm returning hello user form, and it will take a current thread name and thread name and scope. This is the scope. Okay, now finally I will prepare the test.java. Okay, in the test.java I will take main method. In the main method, first I will create the application context object. Okay, context equal to okay class path application context, and we have to pass the com slash sudha slash cfg slash what is the file name, control C, and we have to pass the XML file name. That's all. Okay, you can new keyword. What is this one? Okay, now next we have to create your you can call get bean method. How you can call context dot get bean method, and it is expecting so first we have to write the XML file configuration, right? So how you are calling, so here just remove everything, this is not required. Okay, first I will take bean tag, id equal to okay id equal to I'm taking uh, custom. Okay, now I will take class equal to what is the fully qualified name, let's say scope b com dot sudha dot custom scope. This is my sorry scope bean, scope bean. Okay, now and scope equal to red. Okay, let's see how it will execute. I will show you the comparison. Okay, now again I need to register some beans. This is my user defined bean class. So scope, you need to register everything in the spring config spring class. when you create any class, you have must and should, you have to declare in the XML file. Then only it will create the object for those classes. It will treat the custom Spring Bean. So now thread scope and the corresponding class should be having thread scope. Okay, we need to declare the thread scope class. So what is the class here? Thread scope. This is the class. And next bean. What is the next bean? You have to declare bean and id equal to scope config, and have to use class equal to, what is the class we have to use? Custom org dot spring framework dot beans dot factory dot config dot custom scope configure. Okay, now in this class we have to mention property tag. By using property tag, you have to mention scopes attribute. In the scopes again, we have to mention map. In the map, we have to declare entry. In the entry, what is the key here? You have to take keys, the corresponding scope. What is the current scope? And value reference, you have to mention thread scope. Okay, this is the value reference. Okay, now your Spring configuration file is done. Then what you are doing, right? So first of all, you have to create you need to prepare the bean XML file. What is the ID? You have to take first one, custom. Okay, and alt 1 enter. So this one scope bean. Okay, and we have to have typecast. This is one object. I will create multiple objects for this. Okay, and this is bean1 and this is bean2. Now I have to print these both the beans, bean1 bean2. Okay, now let's see. I will call my customized method. Okay, sysout from the bean object. I will call my customizer bean1 dot say hi. Same method I will call from this bean2 also. Okay, now run this example. What will happen? I will show you. Custom, I think spelling is mistake. Custom. Okay. See here, let's see here. What are you doing? Simply you are registering your beans, right? After that, so you prepared your configuration file and you are reading the configuration file. You are calling get bean method and you are creating two objects for the same bean class. So now see, when you call when you run this method, so where it is scope bean object is created, where it is available, guys? See, constructor scope bean is executed and you are calling in the test class you are printing the bean object, bean1 and bean2. See, both are in the same objects, correct, right? So and you have to call your user define. Okay, what is the method, what is the thread name here? Let's go to here. See, thread dot current thread dot get name, and you are adding by end space, right? So here let's see what is the hello user form warrant current thread name. Main is the form, main is the main thread. Okay, now go to here, you are calling two times, right? Then you are getting two times of the, here I am seeing one, I will see one difference here. I will show you one difference. Okay, bean bean1 equal to bean2. Okay, now let's see what will happen. You are getting a true or not, both are same, it's giving same object. So now I will extend some this example. And now I will create thread scope. Thread scope equal to, okay, context dot get bean. Okay, what method you are, what id you are calling the thread scope, it should be a thread scope only, right? Go to xml file, take this one, thread scope. Okay, and go to test class, give this scope id, and you can give. Okay, you can do the typecasting. So now we have to again, we need to perform some operation. Remove method I am offering. So what is the bean name? Custom bean. Okay, let's see. See, now I am printing, now I am printing. Okay, system.out.println bean3. Let's see, you are able to get the objects at third time. See here, here in the thread scope, what you are doing in the xml file, here thread scope, you are called the corresponding thread scope object you created. In the thread scope, simply you are doing what, custom thread local you created. From custom thread you are getting the get method, and you are getting the scope object. From the scope object you are getting an object. Again you are passing the name and you are passing the object, and you are, if object is null, then you are creating the object. So after objecting the object factory, again the, in the scope object you are putting the name and object. So that's why you are getting the corresponding object. So go to test method. Here you remove the, you are called remove thread scope that remove hello bean custom method, right? So then here I will show you one more time these examples. I will show, I will run again one more time. Now this time is 4 and 5. Let's see, now I will print 4 and 5. Now I will print, I will run one more time. Let's see here. See, this is up to, okay, scope object, scope bin is created. Again you are able to get the same object or not. Scope, this is the customized scope of by using Spring. Okay, how you can write the customized Spring. Now Spring 4 and Spring 5, Spring 4 equal to Spring 5. So what is the values you are getting? So do one thing, See here, scope object created and it's printing 2 times of our object and it's calling main method. See here, you are calling again, you are displaying after thread also how your scope will be working. This is the entire example of your the corresponding Spring. Why it is XML? Oh, I didn't write here. Oh my god. Okay, control. Yeah. Okay, fine. So actual example, this one. Let's see. Yeah. See, this is the custom example. We can practice this example. Okay. So before this one, right? We completed XML config, right? So go to here. Here there are how you are creating the bean configuration types. One is XML configuration. Second one is Java based configuration, annotation configuration. So in the XML configuration we completed how you can do the XML configuration and all. So now we will go to the Java based configuration. Okay, in Java based configuration, so in Java based configuration, right? So in Spring up to Spring 2.4, right? Version Spring Beans configuration file is mandatory. Okay, up to Spring 2.4 version Spring configuration file is mandatory. Okay, so it means you have to write the XML file in your Spring application. Okay, so up to 2.4 version Spring configuration file is mandatory to write to configure your bean classes and their metadata. So, but from the 3.x onwards, okay, from Spring 3.x onwards, okay, the version is it's provided Java based configuration and a replacement for XML documents from the up to 3.x. No need to write any configuration file. Okay, that is optional. Okay, not mandatory. From 3.x onwards, Java based configuration available. Java based configuration available in from 3.x in the replacement of XML files. Okay, by using Java based, we can write our bean configuration everything. If you want to use Java based configuration in for the alternative Spring Bean configuration file in Spring application, then you have to do some steps. Okay, so what are the steps you have to do? So first one, Okay, first one is create bean class. Create bean classes as per requirement. Okay, second one create beans configuration with following annotations. Okay, so if you want to use Java based configuration, in first of all you have to create your bean classes, the corresponding created beans configuration with the following annotation, like you can give configuration annotation. Okay, next one is @bean annotation. Okay, these beans sufficient to work with. Okay, to work with Java based configuration instead of XML configuration. Okay, now third step we have to test class test class create a container object. Okay, container object using application context class. Okay, sorry, implementation IMPL class. Okay, this is the third step. Now fourth step, get bean object from container IMPL class. Okay, means dot get bean method. Finally, access business methods. Okay, let's see these steps you can perform and you can do the one example. Okay, now I am creating. So Control C, Control V. The application is um, Java based config app. Okay, now go to here. In this class I have, so I created same class I will use. Okay, now I will remove entire thing. So here first I will take, okay, constructor. In the constructor, default constructor, I will write sysout. What I will write, so bean loading. Okay, now after the, sorry, this is static block. Okay, static block. Now I will take default constructor. Hello bean. So bean created. Now I will write my custom method, public string say hello. Okay, and just I'm printing return hello spring java config. Okay, first step completed, and we have to create one configuration class.
What is the second step? You have to create one configuration class. So hello bean config Java. Here, how to use at the rate configuration annotation to once you can declare configuration at the rate configuration, so the Spring class will be config class. Okay, configuration have able to get the configuration capabilities. So now public hello bean hello bean. Here I am return new. Here hello bean. Okay, let's see. And the next I will create test class. In the test class, what I am doing, simply first of all I created my XML class path, but instead of this configuration file, directly hello, okay, bean hello bean config class I am calling. Okay, why? Because instead of XML file I wrote a config class, right? So here I need to uh, return the corresponding config class. So here I am not using class path. It should be a annotation config application context. See, instead of a class path, I need to use annotation config application context class. Okay. Now, why? Because class path XML context file, it's not supporting annotation. Spring is separate implementation classes for annotation support. That class is annotation config application context. Next, you got the what is the bean name here? Here the bean name is hello bean, right? Just give this bean the corresponding instead of method name. So instead of id, in the XML file you are using by id, right? Here you have a method name hello bean. Okay, you can give the method name. Finally you are getting it. Okay, now I don't want this. Okay, now I am calling bean dot say hello method. Let's see. So what I have, what happened? Control Z. Go to, yeah. Just remove this one. See here you calling say hello method. So when you call, first of all it will create container object. How you, what is the difference between XML and Java config? In XML you are using class path XML class path application context and you are passing the XML file, but now you are using Java based configuration and we don't want any XML configuration. Why? Because from it is supporting annotation support. What annotations you are using? So instead of XML file, I created one Java config class. Here the class should be annotated with a direct configuration. I have created my, how you created the my class bean object, public hello bean, return new hello bean. It will create new object for this hello bean class. In the test class, I used the annotation config application context. It will take the input hello bean configuration class. So finally, you can call get bean method and you can pass the, instead of if you are using XML file, you are giving as a id is the id name you can give. But here you have a hello bean config class. This is method name. That is the only two differences. Now you can call bean dot say hello method. Let's see. I'm running this example. Anyone idea? It will run or it will won't run? Any idea? You are able to get the output and you are not able to get the output. Just see these 5 steps and let me know you are able to get the output or not. You can tell any answer. So if you yes or no, that is fine. I mean, correct or secondary. First, you can tell me the answer. So output will come or not. Say yes or no. That is fine. So first step, I create a bean class as per the requirement that I have completed, right? And create bean configuration class with following annotations. So configuration and bean. So I created the configuration class. So test class create container object by call using application context implementation class. What is the implementation class here? Okay, annotation application context dot class. Okay, now get bean object from container impl class and access business methods. So these steps are I performed or not, guys? Tell me, say yes or no. Hmm? So the main here, I'm running the application. Just see you are able to get the output or not. See, you are getting some issue. What is the issue here? Cannot load configuration class hello bean config. Can you tell me? Cannot load configuration class hello bean config. Why? Because the corresponding exception initialize error and unable to make protected final class java class loader define java class format error. Java does not use opens java lang unnamed. Okay, so fine. Okay, so exception is given. Why? Because in the config class, so what I have told the second step, create a bean configuration class with the following annotation at the rate configuration at the rate bean, where you can use the at the rate bean. You use it at the rate configuration. So the corresponding, so in the XML file, for you have mentioned bean tag, right? But here you are not mentioned any bean annotation. Why? Because you are spring XML file you are telling, so hello bean class is the my bean class, but in the java configuration, how you are telling to spring hello bean is my spring class, we have to mention at the rate bean annotation. Okay, now go to again run this example. Let's see what is the output. Still it's giving error java 9. So application context cannot load configuration class hello bean config. So let's see. AOP is there, expression is there, everything is there. Why it's not? Mm, mm, mm. Thread main application configuration. Okay. Now cannot load configuration class so the hello bean config. What was the issue here? At the rate configuration. This one also good. And suspecting something inaccessible object exception unable to make protect final java class and define class secure production domain everything. So something is there. Why? Let's see, google it. What is the issue here? Illegal configuration. So now you given, yeah, same, correct. And this is also fine. Main method application annotation config hello world get hello world. Yeah. So what was the spring context? Try below if it is not working. Spring context also dependencies I have added instead of spring core context beans login beans login context. Add this your Maven settings.xml. That is fine. Yeah, same thing only. I don't know why. Let's see where we are missing. Yeah, everything is good. I didn't see any differences here. Mm, I'm suspecting some. I'm suspecting some jar file we are suspecting. Let's see, suspecting any jar file we missed or not. Java, where it is? Java. Yeah. Commons, beans, context support core expression. Apart from that, Spring AOP also added. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here also same, right? AOP also is there. Let's. Why it's not running? Here it's running. See, here bean created, and this is Java configuration. Here it is working as expected. Commons login 4.16, 4.1 core expression. Logging beans and AOP is added. Context support, context, core expression. Everything is there. Why it's not coming? It should work actually. Okay, delete this one. It's not required. Let's see. No, still it's issue. Hello config. Where we are doing a mistake. Class. Okay. Java bean. Text. Yeah, everything is perfect. Now Spring AOP. I didn't see any changes here. Refresh. Allow text Java. Oneness Java application. No, something issue. Cannot load configuration class com.sudo.hello bean config. Why? Here also same only, right? Java bean config class application. I don't know what is the difference here. Cannot load line number 9. exception initializer. What is this line number 84? Configuration post processor. See here. I will try to do it. Context configure build path external jar. Let's try this AOP jar outside. Apply and apply. What happened? Build path. You have to first remove this one Spring library. I have to remove this one. What happened? Delete. Build path, remove build path. Yeah. Now build unsuspecting external jar only. Logging jar, beans, context, support, core, expression. After that, apply, close. Now run this example. Let's try. Sim still issue. I will add WebJar also. Maybe so WebJar. Let's see what will happen. Refresh, run Java application. No. Refreshing annotation, prepare for refresh, root hierarchy. See here, guys, here, see Java bean, instead of Java bean, I taken hello, instead of hello bean, Java bean, same static depend constructor, and my this is my custom method. In the config bean class, I have at the rate configuration, at the rate bean, okay, Java bean. Finally, I'm creating same. Instead of hello bean config, just Java bean config, I'm creating the method. So apart from that, I didn't add anything, right? See, let's see commons logging jar, beans logging jar, context support, core, expression, and AOP. Same thing I'm done here also. Nothing is changing, right? So let's see. So it will work, guys. This there is no issue with code. Okay, I will give you this example when I'm posting these examples in the repo. You can use this one. Specifically, you can practice this example. You are able to get the issue, please let me know. Or you are able to get the output, then fine. Maybe sometimes issue will happen. Same thing here, it's working, right? I will give you same example. Okay, I will example this one only I will give. We are able to run this example, and hello bean. Here what is the other Java bean? Go to this config class Java bean. Yeah, it's correct only. Okay, fine. It's working, but syntax wise, there is no any issue. Code wise, no issue. In your mission, you can run this example and let me know. Okay. Now, next one. So this is the Java based configuration. Okay, how you are achieving instead of XML file, how you are using Java based configuration by using annotation. Able to follow, guys? Is it clear? Guys, is it clear? What happened, guys? No one is talking. Hmm? Okay. Sunil, able to follow Shushmita, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then next one is spring bean life cycle, very important concept. So what is the in the interview, if you go to interview 5 interviews, you are getting 5 questions, same question in the 5 interviews, that much important this concept, bean life cycle. So when you work with any spring, right, for example, if you are work with servlets, you have servlet life cycle or not, right? In servlet life cycle you have some life cycle methods like init method, destroy method, service method, okay, get servlet info method. These are all the servlet life cycle methods. In the same way you have spring bean life cycle concept. In the spring bean life cycle, first of all, in spring application framework, right, when IOC container recognize all the beans definitions in bean configuration file, okay, then IOC container will execute the bean by using the lifecycle methods only. Okay, for example, let's say take this example, XML configuration here. So here this is your class, bean class, and this is your XML file. You register your bean in the XML file. Finally you are telling, hey spring, this is my bean class, you can create the object, right? Finally internally how it will spring, it will create the object. Some you have internally some methods will work, right, it will execute. Those methods are called as spring life cycle methods. Okay, in the spring life cycle methods, what are the spring life cycle methods we have, right? First of all, bean class loading, okay. Next one, bean instantiation, okay. Now bean initialization, okay. Next, bean destruction, okay. These are all the bean life cycle methods perform the execution actions: bean class loading, initialization, instantiation, destruction. Okay, so what is the first one, right? What is the spring bean class loading? When IOC, so for example, let's say you have a for example, you have a one application, okay. In the application you are giving in the XML file, you are giving bean tag, right? In the bean tag you are giving ID and class name. How you are giving? Fully qualified name, right? So then what will happen, right? Once you can run this example, spring contain IOC container, it will read the XML file and it will check what are the bean tags is available. So in the first it will check bean tag and it will containing any fully, first it IOC container recognize fully qualified names of the bean classes in bean configuration file, right? What is the fully qualified name? com.suda.hello bean class is there, right? It will identify by the IOC container and it will load the specified bean class into the bytecode, okay. Specified specified bean class bytecode to the memory, okay. Means the corresponding hello bean class, it will initialize and it will create, it will finally JVM, it will convert it the dot class file in the sense, right? Finally in the Java, every class, Java class containing dot class file or not? How it will get the dot class file? When you run the application, let's say you have a simple normal simple core Java application. Here you are doing some uh, you are creating some array list example. Simply you can create the test class and you are creating main method. In the main method you are creating the array list object, array list equal to new array list. You are add list dot add some names, strings you are adding like Sudha, and you are adding some Sunil, and you are adding some name Chakradhar, and you are adding some name Chetan. Finally you are printing system.out.println, you are returning some list object. Finally you are getting the list values, right? So internally what will do, how you are run this example? Java C test.java, then automatically when you compile this program, you are able to, it will create the same location dot class file, right? In the sense JVM, it will JVM, the corresponding test class, it will it will load the bytecode to the memory. In the sense it will create the dot class file, right? So in the same scenario, IOC container, it will do the same steps. There is no any difference, guys. But in the in the core Java, you are creating the hello bean object. But here Spring it will create, just you are informing required information like what is the object name and what is the corresponding bean class. Then Spring will take care of the bytecode to the memory, and it will dot class file, everything it will created by the IOC container. That is the benefit of Spring. So to load bean class bytecode to the memory, IOC container, it will call internally. How it will load the bytecode to the memory? Internally in any like core Java application or servlets, whatever, right? Once your class should be converted into the bytecode, internally class.forName it will call. What is the class loader concept in the Java, right? Without core Java, nothing is there, guys. Java, Spring also, it will work on core Java only. That those are all the very basics for the any framework in Java. So what is the class loader means? Finally, when you run Java C test.java, internally JVM, it will check the corresponding test.java where it is available. It means fully qualified name. It will find and it will go to the corresponding location. It will identify the test.java. In the same way, hello bean hello bean, it will identify the file name and it will call class.forName method. So class.forName class equal to from the IOC container. Internally, line number 9, what will happen in the IOC container? What will do these things and all? It will do the like creating the object, like how we use class loader time. Everything is done by the Spring IOC container. What is the difference between core Java and this application? In core Java, you are creating the object, right? Test C equal to new test, like you are creating the object in the main method. So here not required, right? Simply you can declare XML file your bean tag, and you can provide your fully qualified name. Then automatically take care of IOC container. That is the main advantages of Spring. It will reduce the developer time and it will reduce the developer work also. That's why everyone is using Spring. So you are able to find the differences, right? Now you are able to understand what is the bean class loading. Okay, now next step, bean instantiation. So what is the Spring instantiation? Any guess? Any guess, guys? So in the Spring applications, so after loading your bean class bytecode to the memory, then IOC container will create the object for the bean class. That is nothing but bean instantiation. So in the Spring applications, so how to create the bean objects? There are couple of ways, right? So what are those? How to create the objects? One is by using constructor, and by using static factory method, and by using instance factory method. Okay, by using three ways you have to create the instantiation for the your bean classes. So how you can create the constructor direct, I mean how you can create the object bean object through constructor, static factory and instance factory? Let's see. Before that, I will complete this uh, topic. Okay, Spring initialization. What is the next one? Spring initialization, nothing but what is the Spring initialization? Is nothing but the corresponding. So, one second. So, initialization means finally it will invoke and it will execute the corresponding bean class. For example, in the second line, bean instantiation means it will create the object. After object, it will create, it will call the methods, right? So whatever we need to use that method created object. By using created object, you can call our methods. Finally, you are destroying your bean objects. Once your everything you executed, finally you are calling, normally in the servlets you are calling destroy method. What is the purpose of destroy method? After, if you stop the server, automatically destroy method it will call, and it will create, it will destroy all the objects. In the same way, in the bean we have a destroy method, and it will destroy all the bean objects in the bean Spring application cycle. Okay, these are all the bean lifecycle methods and how it should be one by one. So now we have to check how bean methods, bean objects will create. There are three ways you have, right? One is by using constructor, and another one is static factory method, and the another one method is instance factory method. How you are creating the objects. Okay, so let's see. First of all, so tomorrow class, guys, I will explain how to create the bean objects through constructor and instance factory and static factory. Apart from that, we can see bean inheritance. Okay, after that we can see Spring Bean validations. Then we will complete the Spring Core module. Okay, any doubt, guys? I will give you all the examples at a time. Okay, we can do the practice. Anything else, guys? Any doubts? Previous classes? Please join tomorrow 8 a.m.